Hi, Sagittarius. All right. Happy birthday if it's your birthday time. Otherwise, I hope you're doing good. Okay, welcome to the space also. Thank you for showing up. God, I just felt really out of breath there. It was interesting. So, this is a pretty powerful time of the year. Which makes your power very strong, right? Now, power is like a source of energy, right? Power can come through many things. But I feel like whatever your resources are, you want to kind of use self-control there, okay? Whether this is your own energy, your time or money spent on something, sort of be a little conservative in this time, okay? I would also say that it could be a nice time for you to focus in on creating with what you have versus trying to create something new. Yeah. Okay. Let's jump in and see what's up, Sagittarius. Oh, Prince of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. I guess we're telling you all the cards. Queen of Cups, Princess of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles right in the heart. Awesome. So some kind of balancing there in the heart space. That's good. Nine of Cups, great. Eight of Cups, Three of Pentacles, and the Princess of Cups. Lots of people here. So you get the whole family except for the King of Cups. So all the water's here except for that. Actually, water is in all four corners are water. Interesting. Huh. Actually, you have all water and earth. Fascinating. It's like every sign this time frame is learning something about their elemental setup or like how they work, right? You have water and earth. This, to me, is one of the most versatile combinations of elementally speaking. You can create so much with a feeling, right? There are so many kinds of feelings in earth. There are so many kinds of earth, right? There are soft meadows, there are deserts, tundras, forest, swamps, right? Marshes. It's all kinds of environment. What do you feel like? Maybe you want to take some areas of life and figure out what environment that feels like. I would also take note of the environment you live within and realize like how the animals act during those times, like the activity of it, because this is going to help you to be in the flow of something, right? Whatever's going on around you is usually what is going to dictate a person's power too. Now, of course, I see power comes from within you. But it's good to be conscious because you're a very sensitive sign, right? You don't seem like it to most people on the outside, but you are immensely sensitive. Very, very sensitive sign. Especially with all this water. Let's go to the center. So we have the Six of Pentacles. See this card? This little Six of Pentacles. So to me, this is about finding appropriate establishment. Interesting words that came out there. Appropriate establishment. This is also understanding, in general, it's a card of balance, right? This card speaks of understanding, again, I guess a bit of the emphasis of your resources, right? Where you can give, how you can give. As this sits in the heart of the reading, perhaps if there was something where, like, because what you believe, Sagittarius, sometimes what you know, like mentally, and what you believe in your heart can be, like your head and your heart space can be in conflict with one another, depending on the emotion that you are within. Now, I actually see the majority of emotion that are coming in from these corner places are very positive. But all the people are sort of separated, though. So I guess if there's distance with something, say physically, some kind of physical distance, then I suppose this is when, and we talked about this, that do your thing reading last month. Remember, you have a lot of power, again, over what you do in this life, the way you want to view it, or especially your future. Maybe you want to, let's think ahead 3 months. Right? Try not to think about it. It's something about like taking it day by day. You want to take it like day by day or like month by month. It's not something here where you're super, because there's no wands, so we're not talking about this super fast energy. Again, water and earth are both, water can be fast, don't get me wrong, right? This waterfall on this Knight of Cups card is very powerful, right? And actually, the one card that's the water, that's a little more, it's winter here, is this Eight of Cups. So perhaps over the winter, it could be a nice time. Well, okay, we're just looking at this month. There's one portal, or like one part of the X that's frozen. It's like someone's working through winter here. Some of you, your partner or other people in your life may not be feeling very secure. Someone isn't feeling very secure right now. Even though, again, there's love all around them. Like there's love that is the... Maybe there's a boundary with the love, or like... Interesting energy. So someone doesn't know whether something's all going to work out. But I see, again, you're surrounded by support. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 people, at very least. Maybe you want to think about that. The 7 people in your life. There strongly are 3 people that are really powerful in your life. You want to think about them, that are like an emotional support. That... maybe some of you keep people somebody keeps someone at a distance emotionally also a little bit. Maybe someone just needs a little bit more love. Let's see. I see the words, I'm happy where I am. I'm happy where I am. Princess of Pentacles is about learning. right? She is willing to, she holds wheat in her hand. There's a sunrise in the background. So I want you also, and this has been kind of a collective energy, but I want you to believe in what you have learned up until this point. I also see this as an ability to learn, right? Some of you have really strong, like plant medicine or some kind of knowing that's natural too. So believe in that as well. Maybe this is partially like natural healing. But also remember that there are different means of going about finding the place that feels good. Interesting. I see there's a 3-month process here. Okay, you have 2. It's like water, earth, water. That's one road. Okay, so there's more water there than there is earth. Think about that place. Where is that? Like, where is it near you? Or where do you imagine? Or where is it that you've been where it's more water and a little bit of earth? Like, there's water on each side of you, you know? And then there's all earth here. So I see also you need to, especially because this connects to the heart, this connects to people feeling secure. It also connects to your own ability. So the heart needs to feel secure to understand more, maybe not to worry about time, or to at least, again, function in a way that's practical, so that, earth to me is dry and it's cold. And it usually needs more air. If a person has a lot of earth in their chart, you'll see them be like they're always trying to get air. Think about a like New York City or something, where all the buildings, all the stone is like really high, and there's not a lot of space there. So maybe some of this could help. Breathing exercises, because it's almost like someone's like, am I going to get it all done? If someone's worried about time. But I guess whatever's on the edges here is so emotional that something is making you kind of like, it's like there's pressure in the center, right? There's pressure in the center, so how do we resolve that? 8 of Wands. Okay, right, there's no swords here. So, again, air is breath work. Air is letting it out, right? King of Pentacles, yes. You need to be able to, you need to know, how do you release your stress? Or like, how do you release... with all these people around too, it's like, what has happened? I see what has happened to you, or what is happening around you is also very influential. So there's a feeling that's frozen, but someone's also working through that. It's a hard one, though. It's like something that somebody doesn't want to think about. But I actually feel like if you don't want to think about it, then you got to feel about it. If you don't want to feel about it, then you got to think about it differently. Does this make sense? Ace of Cups. Remember, the mind and the heart for you, for most people, but you specifically, because we don't have to get into it. The sign in and of itself, it causes it's like Cancer energy. It's like this strong duality between what you think. Well, I guess it's a human thing. It's like what the head, what you know, and then how the heart feels. And I guess what's trying to happen here in the heart is to combine these two. So that something feels better. So something doesn't feel like a battle. I really feel like someone needs a hug here. Like someone's so strong. They're so strong and they're so talented, but they're kind of like, can I do it? Or what am I doing this for? Like someone's questioning themselves too much. So maybe someone needs a little bit of support. Now, if you're the one that's always supporting, if you're that loving nature, if you're that you can do it kind of person, then you need this back to you. And if it's always coming, if you're the one that's receiving this a lot and this is so, and you're the one feeling strong, then you're the one that needs to give it. I feel like we talked about this in the garden a couple months ago. It was like through the summer where it was talking about when one person, for instance, is scared or concerned or insecure, and another person feels scared and insecure, then what do you have? You have compounding energy that's negative, right? It's frictional. And I know sometimes it's hard to be like, oh, fuck, I got to stand strong right now. I got to be really soft and loving right now, even though I'm having my own hard time because someone else is having a harder time. Yes, sometimes we have to do that, right? It's a balancing act. I know it's hard, but you want to make sure that you're giving yourself space to understand what you need in ways of love, physically, emotionally, etc. Because if you know what you need, Sagittarius, especially because this affects your health a lot. Scorpio's on one side of you, which is fear. Capricorn's on the other side, which is health. So, and this is also the soul and karma. So you want to feel good about, well, I guess there would always be a subconscious worry about certain things that you can't, because on both sides of you is that which you cannot control. You know what I mean? Now, the thing is you have a lot of control over you and what you do and how you feel. And the cool thing is whatever we're talking about here, you get through that, we end up in this other path, this next road, the next road you come to. Well, it's all water, and it's actually really, really positive. You have the Queen of Cups, the Nine of Cups, and the Page of Cups, Princess. And there's the Ace of Cups. So I would look at your 9th house. This is the house of learning. It's technically, you kind of rule this house. It's the house of faith. To me, it's the house of God, of the sun, right? The sun is a great power there. I would also say that this could be where maybe it would be helpful to talk to other women. I do see talking to men too here, but it's also like, maybe it's talking to family. Who's the matriarch in the family? Who's the patriarch in the family? Like, who's the strongest, like, elder in the feminine? Who's the strongest masculine in the family? Now, I suppose for some of you, some of these people could be who passed on. If they are, remember, you can talk to them. You know what I mean? You can feel the security of that, right? A matriarch and a patriarch, the masculine, the male and the female power of the family dynamic is always with you, like protecting you. And maybe a part of that's what it is for some of you around you are also these ancestors. And it's like you're all set. I mean, there is one person that's passed on that's still hard, right? It's still a little bit, maybe this is more like an ex-spouse or lover or something like this. There's still a little funky in there. Pisces is looking over at that. So I also want you to believe whatever you're healing through emotionally that you can. Yes, Six of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune, that you can again find this balance that you need. Interesting energy. Two of Cups, yes. So, just a minute. I feel like someone needs a compliment. But I also feel like there's a little bit of a pity party here. What's that about? Ten of Pentacles. You know, sometimes when you leave somebody alone, or somebody leaves something alone, what happens? We have to figure it out for ourselves, right? Death. We have to change. It doesn't matter. You can do a lot by supporting. Yes, it's not to contradict the message before. It's an additional. Security, emotional security comes from within a person. It can help when there's support around, but if that support is there and they still feel low, then there's something within that person needs to shift, right? Now, I suppose, of course, a part of this would be where again, I feel like somebody's really influenced by how other people feel around them. Maybe people even feel a little judged. So try not to take the dense energy of anyone else and absorb it into yourself. Because I sense, because of your reading last month, do your own thing, and the Six of Pentacles being in the heart of you, then it's important for you to balance your heart at this time. Pay attention to that. Six of Pentacles is also about health, right? It's about eating well, sleeping well, making sure your money is good, like feeling confident about what you've achieved and your harvest this year too, okay? Let's keep going with the other path. If we come across this crossroad. Well, someone finally learns how to balance something which makes them feel a whole heck of a lot better. I suppose whatever the insecurity is actually becomes something that's stronger, but that's because there's more earth than there is water. Sometimes when it's too emotional, it makes a person feel insecure. So don't forget to do your own thing. Take care of yourself too, right? Especially if you're a person that's always giving, helping, things like that. You do that a lot. But you know what? That burns you out. When you do anything too much in one element, right? It burns you out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cups. 1, 2, 3, 4 pentacles. So what are we talking about here? There's a sadness in the heart that's a little bit stuck, at least at this point. So you have to feel safe enough to open up, or to tell yourself that you're secure enough, that you're stable enough, that home's good. You want to look at you, be like, okay, I have a place to live, I have money, my family is good. Like, try not to stress too much right now. Death card again, not in this Scorpio time, right? Also remember, try to remember, there's some memories you don't want to go into, right? Okay, well, you don't have to if you don't want to. But at least have the recognition that during Scorpio season, or whenever this year comes around, or if you're even aware of the time frames of it, like, a lot of people have passed in this time frame. So this is also emotional, right? It triggers us to think about the past in Scorpio time, or at very least to acknowledge it emotionally, which can become the emotion, like, rises to the top, right? It's like the cream, That it's funny because you'd think that the heavy would settle to the bottom, but cream rises to the top, right? The heavy goes up, at least in this time. Now, the cool thing about that is something has to cool to do that, right? When it's too hot, all the fire, all the air, you're very hot energy. You run hot. When it cools off, which is necessary for the cream to rise to the top, then you're going to be able to scoop off that, to separate the heavy from the other. When that happens, you can take that off and you can do what you will. You could be creative with it and turn it into something else. You can take it and just throw it away. Whatever it is that you need to do. Now, if you haven't been sleeping well, I feel like that'll be better. 9 of Swords, Temperance card. I would definitely say, so water is cool, right? And earth is cold. So you want to make sure that you're getting sunshine. Okay, I also feel like when maybe some of you want to buy flowers or have flowers in the house. Make sure you're also like, I feel like some of you need to dress up a little bit more. Like put a little bit more into yourself. Not to be vain, but because that's a part of caring for yourself, right? We live in a weird time where people just wear their pajamas in public. Think about back in the, I don't know, even in the, say in the 30s, right? It's like people used to dress, like, be very intentional with what they connect their body to, right? Very intentional. I would also say that it would be good to make sure you're having dinner. If you live with other people, have family, whatever, make sure you're having dinner with other people. If any of you are single too and you're feeling lonely, or again, there's distance between you and that which you love, then I'd get together with friends, okay? Or at very least, maybe some of you even want to make plans to travel. I don't know. This could even be future plans. Again, you don't have to go too far ahead of what it's all going to be, but just be aware of what's possible in this reality, right? Wheel of Fortune, yeah, and the Two of Cups, yes. If you're feeling disconnected, connect with people, please, and also believe in love because you're surrounded by it. Allow that perhaps into your heart space, okay? I would also say that this is a nice time to feel, okay, versus thinking. Now, I know, again, sometimes that could be challenging for you, your energy. Not that you're not capable, Ace of Swords, but it's kind of like, maybe the reason why there aren't swords or wands here is wands are energy. It's like doing. And air, swords are thinking, talking. So since the reading has taken these elements out, I suppose some quiet time could be very helpful. Now, you can still do, like I saw someone working with their hands, like doing something sort of slow, like, again, intentional. But don't forget to try to be silent and still a little bit. Because this is going to build strength in your heart. It's going to, it'll help you to have a conversation or at least shift something, learn something so that the heart can be happy. Maybe it's just acknowledging where you are now. Sometimes we build up resentment. Emperor, 9 of Swords. Yeah, it's like, because you have to know what you need in your heart to be able to get it, also communicate it. And maybe some of you are at a point in your life where you're sort of shifting strength. There's more heart energy. It's like shifting more of how and where, again, you use your resources, your power. King of Cups, High Priestess, Death card. We got double Scorpio. I know these cards are so intense, they're kind of hard to see. Double Scorpio with the intuition card. I would also say, with all this water, very intuitive you are, right? So if you pick up on something, remember that with all this other earth, you know, sometimes magical powers can be a little bit scary, you know? You don't understand, a person may not understand how, like, where that feeling's coming from or what. So maybe you even just remind yourself, again, of the practical nature. If things get too big, like, I have a home, you know, family. And really check in on what you need emotionally, okay? There's the Empress, right? And the Lovers. This is self-respecting decisions, right? Self-respecting decisions. I would also say that as earth and water are here, you can't really push the river, right? And you can't push earth. So you kind of want to use this earth to make a boundary, right? Think about like the edge of a water source, right? The earth is going to cause a boundary so the water doesn't push over it, right? It's a good emotional boundary. Be like, okay, the water, yes, the water is big and beautiful. It could even have waves, but it's like, okay, it only goes to this place, right? You remember, you have that control because this is all within you, right? And if for some reason it's too, again, cold and dry, well then you want to take in something, maybe water that's warm. Maybe for some of you, this is like drinking tea. I would say herbal tea would be better than, I see, coffee, if you are that kind of person. Maybe even a little bit of fasting could also be helpful. Okay? And if you are working a lot, remember you have to have a good balance with that. And maybe it would be good to look at, again, you know, don't forget to make a list. You know, it can be helpful. It takes, the Japanese prove this supposedly scientifically, but when you make a list of what, like, writing is very powerful. Whether this is writing about how you really feel, writing about what you want to do, you know, writing about how you want to feel, about what you want to do. I don't know if we just said that. But also what needs to be done. Because it could be one of those things where you're like, all right, I want to do all these things, or I need to do all these things. You could even blend them all together, kind of be subconscious. And then go back in and be like, okay, what's really important here? Like right now. Because I suppose this present moment with all this water is what is wanting you to be right where you are. Happy where you are. I mean, recognize what you want in the future. Yes. So that you feel secure. You know, maybe again, it's recognizing what kind of lover you want, or how you want your partner to, what you want to do with that, or again, what you want to learn more about, or what you're wanting your job to be, or how much you love your job, or what you're looking forward to in spring. You know, again, and I would also say your creative talents. I feel like you should write a list of what you are creatively good at or what you enjoy learning about. Or maybe even just what you've been learning about right now. You know? Like, give yourself a little bit of props to understand how far you have come. And that which you are seeking, that maybe you haven't found yet, you will. You will. It's like Pisces in the third. It's like water in the third or the ninth house. Earth in the sixth or seventh. Earth in the third. First, seventh is water, earth, or vice versa. Emperor, Fool. I see someone's going to give a great gift to you. I would also say, to close this out, if you've ever had a reading before, and most Sagittarius don't, a lot of Sagittarius don't ask for readings because you want to figure it out all on your own. It's understandable. Not that you're not open to learn, but you like to learn it on your own, right? You like to teach yourself, which is cool. But if you've ever had a reading before, or if you'd even be open, I mean, some of you could even need a little bit of relationship counseling or something, but it depends where you're at. Maybe some kind of counseling could be helpful. You know, don't worry about the money of something either. You know, because again, if you use your resources for that which is healthy for you, then it will always be replenished if it's good for your soul, right? If you're just trying to better yourself, you don't have to worry about being like, well, I can't do that. Like, oh, I can't do this, whatever this is, because of money. Don't sweat that. I mean, if you need it, right? Check in there. And remember, there are ancestors also that have passed over, family, what have you, could even be whatever it is, that are a part of your spirit. And I feel like for most of you, most of them are positive, but there could be one that's a little bit hard on the heart. So remember that if there's anything that feels funky, that of the past, that you are also learning about that. And maybe you want to check in there, like, even if it was a hard situation, again, like, how did that help you realize more about what love is? Ace of Wands. You know, maybe how did they help you to figure out more about your own power or confidence? Okay? Wow, what a reading. Thank you, Sagittarius. Thanks for opening up, you know. I know it's hard to do this, to really open up that heart space. It is hard sometimes, right? Get out of the head. Let go of all the things that you're doing all the time. Not filling all the spaces with stuff so you don't have to feel. And please don't keep any of your, well, how do I see this? Taurus's reading will be helpful for you. They're one of your Taurus and Cancer are your inconjuncts, which in essence is this is your balancing soul balancing act, which is Taurus is communicating, Cancer is how you feel. And so I would also say from the chin, Taurus also rules the ears with Saturn, but from the ears to the chest. Maybe some of you a massage could be good. You know, they say especially women hold a lot of trauma, whether it's happened there or not. We hold a lot of trauma. Men too, throat kinds of stuff, but it's more of a feminine energy where past stuff can be held between this neck space and across the chest. So maybe tapping could be good for some people, or even just like massaging this area. If you can trust another person to do it, please do. That could be a part of that opening up. It may release something. Maybe some physical touch could actually really release something, you know? Yeah, look at that Hermit in the King of Cups. Yeah. I see you have a lot of power in your means of changing you. Six of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Interesting. You got it. I would say again, a little fasting could be helpful for some of you too. Even if it's just like, say you just eat one meal a day. You know? Or 2 meals and no snacking. It's like, and if you want to intermittent fast, you could do this just every couple days or so. Just be conscious of it because it's really good for your liver, which connects to your gallbladder, which is Saturn. And both of these have a lot to do with, it all connects down into the feet, Pisces. That's another whole story, but I love you so much. I hope this was helpful. Please take care, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace.